Hi, Carrie. Hi, Daniele. Can you hear me?
Hey, Agnieszka.
Hi. How are you?
Hey, everyone. Ciao, Carrie.
Hey,
Hi,
congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Is Camilla already at home or she's still in hospital?
No, she's in the hospital right now because usually here you have to stay 2 days in the hospital, and there is no possibility to visit them because for the quarantine. Yeah, so we go tomorrow to pick up them. Okay. So in the meantime, I'm doing the part with Gregorio. Hey, ciao.
Hello.
How is in Vilnius?
Well, it's nice weather today. It's quite warm. Lots of people outside. So I was driving through the center today. It's like people sitting near open air cafes and so on. So trying to start to enjoy.
Yeah, but that, I mean, the government decided that you can start to open the business.
Well, restaurants can be open, the ones which can put tables outside, like who have like squares in front of, or just on the sidewalks, or to pick up, but not sitting inside is not allowed yet.
And yeah, no, I'm curious to understand how they will serve the the glass of wine or the dishes. I mean,
They just bring
I
outside.
yeah. I mean, they have only the mask and they can go like less than 1 meter from the person, right?
We don't have such restriction. They wear masks, but at the place, eating places, you don't need to wear masks. So, for example, if you are considered to be in a restaurant but still outside, so you don't need to wear a mask.
Okay.
So, I'm just.
Hello, colleague.
Yeah. Hi, Annette. Hi, Quester.
Good. How are you? How is situation in Lithuania with coronavirus?
I would say we are opening. I have heard that from the mid of May, the airport will start to work. So some directions will be already open. So we'll see. Hopefully it will get better. How is in Russia?
You know, in Moscow, it's I think quite terrible. I was just on TV following one reporting from one of the hospitals, Filatova, which is very famous. They said that they are from today on, they are full, 1,500, but almost all young people from 18 to 40 years old, because the older people from 65, they are more at home, they are respecting the isolation, but the young people, they cannot. And they started, there's a lot of people on the streets, people do not listen. And that's why actually yesterday it was 4,500 new infected, and today more than 7,000. They are afraid it will start growing again. So we will see. We are at home.
Hopefully it will get better soon. Yeah. But anyway, Europe is starting to open. I checked, but like Czech Republic is already starting to open. Hi, Tatiana. Hi, Azamat. Okay, so let's start. If somebody joins us, so you're more than welcome. I'll start sharing my screen. Well, today I would like to tell you more about Lithuania, exactly about the countries, about the spots which you can visit. So like last time I was telling just about Vilnius, and today I will give you example of itinerary of a trip which I usually do with my clients who have about a week who have about a week or 5 days to spend in Lithuania, to travel in Lithuania. So how we do that? So we take a car. I have a car, so I'm a guide and a driver simultaneously, and we make such a circle with stops. We stay overnight in other cities and have lots of places to visit. Okay, so as well, I would like to tell a little bit about types of tourism in Lithuania. So this is with what I will start. So we have historical tourism, so that's mainly the architecture, and in Lithuania we have 4 UNESCO heritage sites, and today I will show you a few of them as well. The other branch is nature tourism. Generally, Lithuania is called a very green country, and over 34% is covered by forest of the territory, and over half of that forest is a pine tree forest. Like 18% of those forests of the territory of Lithuania is a preserved area, like national parks or reservations. Actually, I would say that nature tourism is also getting more popular. Every year there are appearing new hiking tracks, hiking trails. Some of them are really close to the main tourism attractions, so it's comfortable. For example, when we go to Trakai, if we have a little bit more time, like 1 hour spare, we really can take a hiking trail near it. And the third branch, which is really popular in Lithuania and also growing, it's medical tourism. Medical tourism in Lithuania mainly includes dentistry services, rehabilitation, medical spa, and plastic surgery. Actually, Lithuania is named as one of the top countries in Europe for plastic surgery, and then people come for any kind of surgeries. So they have that period when they need they have rehabilitation, and during that period they take tours, they want to travel, so they combine the health issues and also having free time, because they have appointments with doctors in the meanwhile, so they also travel. Okay, and now I would like to show you this route, which I was talking about in the beginning. So this is the map of Lithuania, and I marked more or less how we drive. So when we start from the eastern part, we go this way and make such a circle. So it could take from 5 to 7 days. It depends on the request of the clients, exactly how intensive itinerary they would like to have. I am starting from Kernavė. Kernavė is a small town about 50 kilometers from Vilnius. Why starting here? Because Kernavė is one of the most ancient towns in Lithuania. It is even called like an ancient capital of Lithuania. As there are some pictures of Kernavė. What we have today here, we have old hill forts where used to be castles on the top, and Kernavė is also UNESCO heritage site. Why it is the UNESCO heritage site? Because it's archaeological site. As about 13,000 years ago, it was founded that people were living here. It was a small town in this area. So it's one of the oldest settlements in Europe, 13,000 years ago. And that is why it is a very unique UNESCO heritage site. So what we do with tourists, we walk those stairs, we climb the tops of the hill forts. It's a nice view over there. And next to those hill forts, there is a small village. This is the picture on the right side. This is the reconstruction of old urban civilization about 11th, 12th century. So it's shown how people were living in those times. You can walk there, you can enter those houses, see how people were living. And on the left side, actually, it's one of my favorite pictures. I took it in the autumn. It was really beautiful golden autumn, and it's in Kernavė. Well, I didn't mute you. I need to check how I can mute you because I hear the sounds. Let me check if I find it. Do you hear me well?
We can hear you, and we are all the other people are muted except you.
Oh, they are muted. Okay, thank you. So then it's okay. So so do you see my presentation, Beth? Okay. So can you see my presentation? Okay, so next we go to Trakai. So from Kernavė, we are going to Trakai. Why Trakai? On the map is here near Vilnius. It's just 40 minutes driving from Vilnius, because Trakai was also the capital of Lithuania before Vilnius. And the main attraction in Trakai is the castle on the island. It's surrounded by water, very picturesque. These are the views of a castle in winter. And normally when the winter is strong enough, the lake is getting frozen. And you can walk just through ice and reach the castle. This is a picture of really also big attraction in Trakai. If you come to Trakai, you really must try local dish, which is a pastry, savor pastry called kibinai. So this is a pastry with a bouillon. It's very good taste together. And that's a national dish of carrots. And carrots are such a national minority in Trakai who came from Crimea back to 14th, 15th century. So this how people look like, carrots look like. They are like more Turkish origin, but with a very interesting religion. It's called Karaimizm, but it's like a branch of Judaism, with the only difference that they don't have Talmud, they have only Torah. And as well, this is a short movie which I took last year when we had a flight with one of the client over Trakai with a small airplane. So please watch it. Okay, just to be sure, do you hear me well? Do you hear me well? Nobody answered. Can you hear me now? It's like just I don't hear you, so to be sure.
I did hear you all the time. We are just muted.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay. And,
okay. So let's go forward.
If you want to see if the people are muted or have a camera switched on, you just, here downstairs on the screen, when you have participants, you click on the participants and you get in your right part of the screen all the participants with video and with a microphone, and you can see who is muted, who has switched on camera and so on.
So I see they are muted automatically. Okay, thank you, thank you. Okay, so let's go back. Well, so we visited Kernavė, Trakai, and the next day would be dedicated for Vilnius. at least one day, during which we would visit Vilnius Old Town. Vilnius Old Town is listed to UNESCO Heritage List. So it's really enjoyable to stay the whole day in Vilnius and enjoy during the daytime and in the evening as well. And after Vilnius, we usually go to Kaunas. Kaunas is also famous by the old town. Here on the left side, this is a picture of a castle, exactly what remained from the castle. Most of the castles in Lithuania, they were built as defensive castles in 14th, 15th century. Again, to defend against Teutonic Knights, against Germans. On the right side, this is a picture of a town hall of Kaunas. It's a very beautiful town hall, often called like a white swan because of such color and form. As well, Kaunas is famous by interwar period architecture. And this is the reason why Kaunas is on a waiting list for the UNESCO heritage, because of the interwar architecture. Why this architecture is quite famous and quite big piece of it is exactly from interwar period, because it was a period when Kaunas was the capital of Lithuania. Exactly in 1918, when Lithuania proclaimed their independence, we needed a capital, but our original capital, Vilnius, was taken by Poland. It was attached to Poland. So Vilnius and Vilnius district was Polish. Lithuania was independent country without capital. So it was decided to move capital to Kaunas. That's why even nowadays we call it contemporary capital. And of course, basketball. Kaunas is the heart of basketball. The most famous Lithuanian team, Žalgiris, is located in Kaunas. And on the right side, on the picture, you can see the arena, the biggest arena, sports arena in Lithuania. It can host 30,000 people. Well, after Kaunas, we take very interesting route, which is called Panemunė route. Why Panemunė? Because it goes along the river Nemunas. And while we drive this route, we make stops to visit the castles. So on the left side, Panemunė Castle. The next picture is Raudonė Castle. Nowadays it's school located there. So this route takes about 2 hours. And when you drive this route, afterwards you go back to the highway and you come to Klaipėda. Klaipėda is our port town. It's located on a Baltic seashore, but the history of Klaipėda is completely different from the rest part of Lithuania, because most of the history, Klaipėda was a German town. And that's why over here in the picture, this is a famous German type of architecture, those frame buildings, which exactly remained original from 17th century. Klaipėda suffered several big fires in 18th century and was really destroyed during the World War II. So most of the old town is rebuilt, but still few buildings remained, and this on the pictures are original buildings from the 17th century. They were warehouses. So traders, they were keeping goods in those houses. Exactly this picture on the left side It was a warehouse which belonged for a tradesman, Friedrich Schliemann. And if you know, Schliemann was a person who excavated Troy. So later on, he excavated Troy, he found the Troy and became very famous of that. Well, and after Klaipėda, we take a ferry and we visit this narrow piece, which is called the Kuranen Spit. This is more precise a picture, the map. So in Klaipėda, there is the narrowest piece of a lagoon, we take a ferry and we get to the spit with a car. And we drive along the spit. All the spit is also national park. It's UNESCO heritage. And we visit small fishermen towns, dunes, and so on. It's about 50 kilometers to drive one way. So it's like almost all day tour. So on the right side, there are pictures of our dunes, and in some places they really look like desert, and often even movies were filmed here if they want to show the desert. Beautiful white sand. So this is a kind of a ferry which takes us with cars to the spit and back. And when we get to the spit, one of our first stops is park on the left side. It's called the Hill of Witch. So the park which you visit, and there are lots of wooden statues, and those statues present different Lithuanian fairy tale characters. Actually, Lithuanians like witches, devils, and all other creatures. And Lithuanians Lithuania was the last country in Europe to get baptized very late, till 14th century. So paganism was very strong here. And you really spend about an hour walking through that forest. It's a beautiful forest, and as well all those wooden creatures. And on the right side, this is piece of a forest. We call it the Jurassic Park, as it's a place where the colonies of those huge birds, cormorants and herons, they are nesting and living here. And because of their excrements, the trees are dying. So that is why they look like really from a movie. They remind us of the Jurassic Park. And the last spot on Kuranen Spit is the city called Nida. It's our resort city. Actually, we have such two most popular resort towns in Lithuania for summer, which is Nida and Palanga. And they are slightly different. Nida is very calm town, very relaxing town, where it's not allowed any noise, any big parties. It's like to stay with the nature, to ride a bike, hike, and so on. While Palanga is considered the summer capital, it's more for having fun, nightclubs, restaurants, and so on. So Nida is very beautiful. It's old fisherman village with wooden houses. So after you visit all the spit, you drive back, once again take a ferry, and then you appear on the mainland. From Klaipėda, we go to Palanga. So Palanga, which I mentioned already, this resort town, just 30 kilometers north from Klaipėda. And yes, we have a beach. So here on the left side, there is a picture from a beach in Palanga. And when it's a good weather, it really gets crowded. But even though if the weather is not so good, people come to the seaside because the Baltic Sea has high level of iodine, and doctors prescribe for people who have any like breathing problems, breathing diseases, just to walk, to have long walks along the seaside because of the pine trees and because of iodine. After Palanga, a little bit longer drive, like 2.5 hours drive, and we get to Šiauliai. Šiauliai is a small town, but next to it, it's a very famous place. It's really in the middle of nowhere because it's outside the city. The Hill of Crosses, I think many people heard about that. It's really a weird feeling when you go there, because when you enter that hill, you have hundreds of thousands of crosses around you, and people put different intentions there. It is not a cemetery, so you do not put cross there for the deaf person, but you put a cross if you have any intentions. So ask for health, for prosperity. Even people on the wedding day come there and bring crosses. So you can read people messages from all over the world. And here, as you see, a person is also bringing the cross. It's a big tradition. Usually if you go there, you put a cross on the hill with your own intentions. And for the end, these are my contacts for Facebook and Instagram. So feel free to join and we'll be friends there. The same name on both, Guide in Vilnius, Agnieszka. So it would be the end of my presentation, but as well, I would like to show you one short movie, which is a famous movie about Lithuania, just a few minutes more.
Excuse me, Agnieszka. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it's finished.
Yeah, it's finished.
Oh, sorry. No, because maybe you didn't share the sound.
Oh,
But
you didn't see the sound?
But there were a music or someone that was talking?
In the beginning there was the music, but later on explanation started. Did you hear sound?
No.
No. You know what? Try to share again, and when you share, there is to flag share the sound of computer.
Where I share the screen.
Yeah, and then there is to flag.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, you can repeat. It's like 1 minute.
Okay, let's do that.
Thank you.
Thank you for telling. I didn't see that flag. Okay, let's go back. So do you hear now?
In the heart of the Baltics, there is a place of incredible beauty, of unspoiled nature, of quiet streams, clean rivers, and radiant lakes shrouded in morning mists, of vast green forests spanning more than half the land. And not only is the countryside green, the capital, Vilnius, with its charming Baroque architecture, is one of the greenest cities in Europe. There are 4 distinct seasons in this country, each one completely changing its natural landscape. Quiet snow-white winters turn into vibrant green springs, and glowing emerald summers are followed by autumns exploding in red and gold. There are thousands of ancient castle hill forts scattered all throughout this land because the people who came to live here more than 10,000 years ago were fiercely independent and freedom-loving. For centuries, they were able to ward off invaders who dreamed of grabbing their strategic territory. Here, people still speak one of the oldest surviving Indo-European languages, most closely related to ancient Sanskrit. This country has a unique cultural heritage that is globally protected by UNESCO as being significant to all humanity. As the last nation in Europe to convert to Christianity, its customs and rituals remain deeply rooted in pagan tradition. Its place in the cosmos and worship of the sun and Mother Earth are expressed in an incredible array of unique crafts and folk art. The nation prides itself on having the world's fastest fiber optic internet and an exploding sector of information technology companies. Laser manufacturing and biotechnology also contribute a substantial part to the growing economy. It is widely recognized for its innovative and business-friendly environment, use of solar energy, optics, electronics, nanotechnology, precision engineering, and more importantly, an insatiable appetite for invention. Lithuania. Breathtaking, authentic, and taking the 21st century by storm.
Okay, this is it. Yeah. Okay, so I believe I unmuted you. Yeah. Okay, I apologize for not giving you the voice in the beginning. So in the end, was it okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was great.
Okay.
I
Okay.
remember when I bought this magnet. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now with this video, I can put in the garbage because we have a lot of things that no one know, and the video was very helpful to know what you have and what you are looking for as the
Okay.
population. I mean.
Yeah. Everything is changing very fast and going forward. So, yeah. Do you have any questions?
Nice circle of locations where I think it should be very interesting trip, you know, from the coast into the inland, and with these castles, Palanga, and so on. Really nice locations.
Well, it's like combination of architecture, nature, beach. So, people get everything, and the scenery is really changing. So yeah, people really enjoy that, and we have a good time when we take this trip.
And where do you organize the overnight stays? You have some special location, not so big hotels, maybe some houses in the nature and so on.
Yeah, we do a combination. In the cities, we stay in the center, in the old town. But in smaller towns, yeah, we take, cabins or like small wooden houses. So sometimes we have sauna, for example, nice scenery. So yeah, it's like both hotels and those ecotourism, we can call it.
With nice food.
Yeah, right. Well, okay, so you're welcome. If you have more questions, I'm ready to answer. If not, thank you for your attention and welcome to Lithuania. Hopefully one day we'll meet here.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you so much. We're gonna go to prepare dinner.
Ciao.
Thank you. Ciao to everyone.
Bye.
Daniele, just say a little bit, how is your wife and the small one, and are you?
Yeah, everything is fine. Yeah, they are in the hospital. Tomorrow we go out from the hospital, go to pick up them. And
Tomorrow already?
Tomorrow, yeah.
Okay.
Ancora tanti auguri.
Thank you. Grazie. See you tomorrow.
See you. Bye
Bye.
bye.
See you tomorrow, guys. Bye bye.
Good night. Good night.
Bye.